So I drew landscapes for 30 days, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. I mostly draw characters, so this was me trying to get out of my comfort zone and actually stick to something for once. I didn't want to quit halfway, no excuses, just show up and draw a landscape every day. It started kind of randomly. At first, I drew a landscape for the first time in a while just to see what would happen, and it was rough. I don't even have the reference photo for the first day because I didn't think it was going to be a challenge, but after my first attempt, I knew I just couldn't leave it there and I had to run back and try it again. Then I decided to make it harder for myself. Since I did that first one on my iPad, I decided to do the entire challenge in Procreate. This is a big deal for me, especially because I use a pen tablet with Clip Studio on my laptop. My iPad was just for sketches or quick ideas, not full pieces, but I wanted to commit and actually learn how to finish paintings on it. At the start, it felt super awkward. Drawing on an iPad is just way more slippery, but I stuck with it to see how much I could improve in a month. Over those 30 days, I learned a lot. Right now, you're seeing everything day by day through the speed paints, and I'll break down what went wrong, what actually helped, and what I do differently. Because if you're struggling with environments like I was, this might save you some time. Honestly, I hated most of what I made before I even finished it. I do like day 2, but that's probably because I spent like 3 hours on it. Same with days 3 and 4, but that's when I realized I can't keep spending so much time on one single piece. I have a full-time job and other stuff to handle, so I capped it at 1 hour per piece after day 5. When I started, there was a lot of trial and error. Colors didn't match, shapes looked weird, and nothing really looked like the reference. And it makes sense. When you draw characters, you're focused on anatomy, gesture, and line. Landscapes are a completely different skill set, and it's all about color relationships, values, big shapes, and my eyes just weren't trained for that yet. One thing that made it harder, but way more useful, was that I didn't color pick. I forced myself to choose colors manually, even when I was way off. Sometimes I did get close, sometimes I completely missed, but over time, my eyes started to adjust. I started noticing subtle shifts in color and lighting that I hadn't noticed before. So if you try something like this, just expect it to look bad at first, but that's part of it. Around day 4 or 5, I hit a wall. I realized I wasn't grinding enough and I was making the same mistakes over and over again. So I started studying other artists. I watched how they simplified things, how they handled their brushes, and how they broke scenes down. This helped a lot, especially because it helped me to not guess anymore. Another thing I completely overlooked was my references and the quality of them. Not all references are good. Some are low quality, over-edited, or just badly lit, and that makes your job way harder. If the lighting is muddy or the colors are unclear, you're basically trying to learn from bad information. Once I switched to better references, clear lighting, with strong shapes and good color variation, it got way easier to understand what I was looking at. Good references actually teach you, but bad ones just confuse you. I also started experimenting with brushes. Early on, I went through a bunch of Procreate's default brushes, and that alone made a huge difference. I narrowed it down to just a few, like the Nico Roll brush and the Shale brush. At first, I also leaned pretty hard on multiply layers and overlays. Then I pulled back because I didn't want to rely on them too much. But by the end, I started using them again, just more intentionally. If it helps the piece, just use it. Just don't let it do all the work for you. Another big thing was color variation. Early on, everything I painted looked flat because I kept using the same colors. But in real life, nothing is ever actually one flat color. Even within the same object, colors shift, especially in shadows. Once I started playing with hue, saturation, and brightness within the same color, everything felt a lot more alive. One tip I kept hearing and didn't really get fully until later was to start big and then go small. Instead of jumping into the details, block in the big shapes first and then refine. You have to think of it like sculpting. But once I actually did that, things got way easier to manage. I also stayed zoomed out most of the time, which is the opposite of how I draw characters, but staying zoomed out helped me focus on the whole image instead of getting lost in the details. Mentally, this challenge was rough. I really didn't like how my work looked at the beginning, and there were many moments where I just wanted to quit halfway through a piece. Even later on, there were days I just didn't feel like doing it. Some days I rushed, like 20 minutes on a piece just to get it done, and I'm pretty sure you can definitely tell which ones those are. But even then, I was improving. My process got faster, I made decisions more quickly, and I started thinking, how do I get this to look right with the least amount of strokes? And that mindset helped me to focus on what actually matters. The biggest thing was just showing up. Even if the work wasn't good, I kept going. I didn't go back to fix old pieces, and I wanted it to stay honest and actually show the day-by-day progress. Around day 12, something clicked. I still wasn't good, but I understood a lot more. Shapes made more sense, colors felt less random, and I wasn't fighting the painting as much. If I did this again, I'd probably spend more time experimenting with color instead of trying to copy everything exactly. I'd also do more focus studies, like with trees, rocks, or water, because those are the things I struggled with the most. Honestly, I probably should have done that at the start instead of forcing a full piece every day, but overall, I'm happy I did it. There were bad days, good days, some wins, and some misses, but I got better each day. And by day 30, it was a breeze to get through. I think some of my favorite days would be towards the end. I really like 29 and 27 and 30, but if you're thinking about doing something like this, just do it. Just be ready for it to suck at the beginning, but that's kind of the whole point. Let me know which piece is your favorite, and if you guys want to see all 30 pieces, I'll have them linked in my bio, and I'll see you guys in the next one.